Alabama is often known for its civil rights history, Southern music, and its beautiful lakes. But far from the tourist routes and major cities, there is another side that rarely gets talked about. Small towns with populations that don't even reach a few thousand people. Downtown areas that sit empty even in the middle of the day. Old buildings that have stood longer than the economic hope that once sustained them. This is not a list of haunted towns filled with jump scares. This is about places that feel quiet because of history, economic decline, tragedy, or isolation. Welcome to 15 Creepiest Small Towns in Alabama, where what sends chills down your spine isn't just the stories, but the reality. This was not just an ordinary small town. Cahaba was Alabama's first capital in the 1820s. Located at the meeting point of the Alabama and Cahaba rivers, it was strategic, prosperous, and filled with politicians and grand antebellum-style homes. Then repeated flooding, epidemics, and the Civil War slowly destroyed it. After the capital was moved, the town began to die little by little. Today, all that remains are red brick foundations, cracked old brick streets, and an ancient cemetery hidden among the trees. Officially, there is no permanent population. It is literally a ghost town. During the Civil War, Cahaba was also used as a Union prison camp. Thousands of prisoners were once held here, and many died from disease. Now the site is an archaeological park, but its reputation as one of the most haunted locations in Alabama remains strong. Visitors often report apparitions in the cemetery area and around the ruins of the Crocheron Mansion. If Cahaba has ruins, you can still visit with informational signs. Claiborne is far quieter and almost completely unmarked. In the early 1800s, this town was an important port along the Alabama River. Steamboats stopped here, lawyers and politicians came and went, and a grand county courthouse once stood proudly. Its population once reached into the thousands, a large number for Alabama at the time. Then the railroad arrived. But it did not pass through Claiborne. Trade shifted elsewhere, the economy collapsed, and the town slowly emptied out. There is no modern census because there are no permanent residents left. What remains are old cemeteries with 19th century headstones and traces of building foundations hidden in the woods. What makes Claiborne creepy is not viral ghost stories, but the total silence. There is no downtown, no stores, no streetlights. Hurtsboro is small, very small. Its population is only around 400 to 450 people in the most recent census, a sharp decline compared to a few decades ago. The town once depended on the railroad and cotton trade, but when those industries faded, Hurtsboro slowly sank with them. The median household income here is far below Alabama's average of $26.300, and the poverty rate stands at a striking level for a town this small. Many houses sit empty, properties are abandoned, and the downtown feels frozen in the past. Job opportunities are limited, with most residents working in small public sector roles or commuting outside the town to earn a living. There are no major ghost stories here. What makes Hurtsboro feel creepy is the atmosphere. Quiet streets, old buildings no longer in use, and the sense that the town has been left behind by the passage of time. If Hurtsboro feels small and left behind, Boligee is even quieter. Its population is under 300 people, a number that makes this town feel like a private community that is almost invisible on the Alabama map. Located in the Black Belt region, an area long associated with structural poverty and economic decline, Boligee carries that same weight. The median household income here sits far below the state average of $26,000, while the poverty rate is high for a community this small at 31%. There is no truly active downtown. A few old buildings stand without meaningful activity, and local job opportunities are extremely limited. The streets are quiet, daily movement is minimal, and the atmosphere feels as if time moves more slowly than in the outside world. This is not a town that is dead, but it feels like a town constantly struggling not to disappear completely. Uniontown sits in the heart of Alabama's Black Belt, with a population of around 2,000 people that has continued to decline over the past few decades. Economically, the town faces heavy pressure. But what makes Uniontown feel darker is the national spotlight that once fell on it. In the 2000s, coal ash waste from a major spill disaster in Tennessee was transported to a landfill near this town. Many residents protested, worried about the health and environmental consequences. The issue put Uniontown in national headlines, not because of tourism or history, but because of environmental conflict. Its downtown is small and partly worn down. Job opportunities are limited, and most economic activity operates on a small scale. What makes Uniontown unsettling is not ghosts or abandoned buildings. It is the feeling of injustice, of a small town that seems to have little voice when major decisions are made over its future. Greensboro may look classic and peaceful on the outside, but the numbers tell a different story. Its population is around 2,000 people, and the median household income sits at about $28,000 per year, far below Alabama's median of over $55,000. The poverty rate in Greensboro is around 30 to 35%, meaning nearly 1/3 of its residents live below the federal poverty line. That is a high figure even for a small Alabama town, especially compared to the much lower national average. As the county seat of Hale County, the town still has government buildings and several educational facilities, but private sector job opportunities are very limited. Many residents rely on public employment, small local businesses, or must travel to other cities to find steady work. Next is LaFayette, with a population of around 2,800 people and serving as the county seat of Chambers County. But that administrative status does not automatically make its economy strong. The median household income here is around $28,000 per year, far below Alabama's average of over $55,000. Its poverty rate stands at about 35%, an extremely high number for a community this small. That means nearly 1/3 of its residents live under real economic pressure. Many jobs are small scale, tied to the public sector, or limited manufacturing positions. Some residents have to commute outside the city for more stable employment. Downtown Lafayette looks functional but worn down. A few old buildings, limited activity, and traffic that is never very busy. There are no major ghost legends attached to it, but the atmosphere feels heavy because of its reality. Camp Hill is home to only about 1,000 people. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary small town in Tallapoosa County, but the data shows real strain. The median household income is around $35,000 per year, while the poverty rate approaches 30%. That figure means roughly 1 in 4 residents lives below the poverty line. What is interesting and ironic is that Camp Hill sits not far from the far more prosperous Lake Martin area, a popular tourist destination. The contrast creates a sharp dividing line. Just a few miles from expensive vacation homes, this town remains stagnant. Its downtown is small, with economic activity limited to local businesses and a small public sector presence. There are no famous ghost stories, no dramatic ruins. What exists instead is the feeling of a town paused in the middle of changing times. Camp Hill is not a dead town, but it feels like it stands at the edge of progress, close enough to see it, yet not truly moving with it. After Camp Hill, which feels left behind on the edge of development, Repton takes us even further. Not just stagnant, but isolated. With a population of around 250 to 300 people, the town feels like a tiny dot on the map of Conca County. Job opportunities within the town are almost non-existent, aside from small public sector roles and forestry-related work. Many residents must travel outside the city to earn a living. What makes Repton interesting and ironic is its location near natural gas projects and modern energy infrastructure. Yet that industrial movement has not fully transformed the face of the town. A 2-lane road cutting through trees, houses spaced far apart, and almost no nighttime activity give it a closed-off feeling. Repton is not a dead town, but it feels like a small world moving at its own rhythm, slow, quiet, and somewhat disconnected from the noise beyond its borders. Frisco City is not a ghost town, but compared to Repton, which feels quiet because of its isolation, Frisco feels quiet because it was once busy, and now it is not. Frisco City has a population of around 1,100 people. Its name comes from the St. Louis to San Francisco Railway, known as the Frisco Line, which once served as the economic heartbeat of this town. In the early 20th century, the railroad carried timber, agricultural goods, and workers. The town thrived because of movement and constant activity. When the timber industry declined and the rail line lost its influence, Frisco City slowed down as well. The poverty rate is estimated to be around 25 to 30%, reflecting long-term economic pressure. There are no major ghost stories or viral tragedies tied to it, but there is a clear sense of a town that lost its momentum. A main road that is never too busy and properties that look aged create the impression that its peak prosperity passed long ago. If Frisco City feels like a railroad town that gradually slowed down, Castleberry is a smaller and quieter version of the same story. With a population of only about 600 people, its size feels truly tiny. The railroad once gave this town its purpose, connecting timber and agricultural products to markets beyond the region. But as the role of the rail line shrank, Castleberry shrank with it. Local job opportunities are limited. Some residents rely on small-scale work, agriculture, or must commute outside the town for more stable income. Interestingly, Castleberry was affected by a major storm in the past that slowed its economic recovery. That damage may not always be visible, but the traces of stagnation can still be felt. There is no bustling activity, no dramatic abandoned landmarks, just the impression of a town surviving at a slow pulse, like an echo from the days when passing trains once carried life through this place. Then there is Gainesville, home to fewer than 200 people. A size this small makes it feel more like a remote settlement than a formal town. Located in Sumter County within Alabama's Black Belt region, Gainesville once held greater importance in the 19th century as an active river town along the Tombigbee River trade route. Today, traces of that history remain, including several old buildings and historic structures that recall a time when steamboats were the center of the local economy. But in modern economic terms, the strain is clear. The poverty rate is estimated at around 35%, an extremely high figure for a community this small. What makes Gainesville unsettling is its near-vanishing scale. Compared to Castleberry, which still has a faint pulse, Gainesville feels like the lingering shadow of an old river town, still present but far removed from the focus of the modern world. What makes York unsettling is not total silence like Gainesville. In fact, it is still fairly active. Schools operate, stores are open, yet it remains overshadowed by real and long-lasting economic pressure. It feels like a town that keeps moving forward, but with a heavy weight on its shoulders. York has a population of around 2,000 people, larger than Gainesville or Castleberry. But a bigger size does not automatically mean greater stability. Located in Sumter County, a region that has faced economic challenges for decades, York carries a difficult reality. Downtown York still exists and functions, but activity is limited. A few older buildings stand along streets that never feel very busy. Many job opportunities depend on the public sector, small educational institutions, or commuting outside the town for steadier work. Gordo often calls itself the crossroads of West Alabama because of its location at the intersection of several main routes. Geographically, it is strategic, but its economic growth has not truly surged. The median household income is around $35,000 per year, still below the Alabama average. The poverty rate is estimated at about 20%, meaning 1 in 5 residents faces economic hardship. Gordo has a population of around 1,500 to 1,700 people, slightly larger than some of the towns mentioned earlier. Located in Pickens County, it is neither a ghost town nor a community on the verge of disappearing. Schools remain active, small businesses stay open, and daily life continues. There are no dramatic collapsing buildings or major local horror legends. What makes Gordo feel unsettling is more subtle. It is a town that is still alive, but not truly advancing. And finally, there is Dadeville, home to about 3,500 people, making it one of the larger towns on this list. It sits near Lake Martin, one of Alabama's most popular recreational areas. Around the lake stand expensive vacation homes, marinas, and high-value properties. Yet, within the town itself, reality does not fully match that tourist image. The median household income is around $30,000 per year, still below the state average. Downtown Dadeville remains active, with government buildings and small businesses. But some sections appear worn down, especially when compared to the thriving property development along the lakeshore. Dadeville also gained widespread attention due to a mass shooting incident in 2023 that shocked this small community and made national headlines. That event cast an unusually dark shadow over a town of this size.